Sci-Fi.
Hey everybody, welcome to Real Life Sci-Fi with Wade and Willie. I'm Wade.
I'm Willie.
This is a podcast about the paranormal and contemporary mythology. Join us on patreon.com/RealLifeSciFi for access to 2 bonus episodes a week, video feeds, and more. Visit RealLifeSciFi.show. We've got all of our other links on there. Let's welcome aboard the SSRLSF. It's our good friend, I don't know, Golden Jacket winner, Aaron Moles.
Yeah. When's the jacket arriving?
It should have been there. Is it? Is it not?
I ask every time I'm on, and I know I never get it.
Wait, you
Do you have
it?
a camera for porch pirates? I mean, that's pretty common.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm in an apartment, so I wouldn't expect anyone to steal anything. But then again, I don't know. Maybe I can't trust anybody.
I see a lot of videos of apartment porch pirates. They call them hallway heathens. Hallway heathens.
Well, mine goes directly to the outside, and there's a gate. So if anyone steals it, it's someone internal. The call is coming from inside the house if someone's doing that.
Yeah, your neighbors.
Yeah, that's scary. So that's why I didn't get my jacket.
Yeah, they probably got one. Sorry.
It's winter, so I'm going to see someone walking around with it, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll find them that way.
You'll know which one it is because we sewed your face into the lining. Like the
Okay.
lining is just a pattern of all U's.
Nice. Ooh.
Yeah, so just go up to anyone that has a gold jacket and rip it open and look at the inner lining.
Okay. Yeah, that's how I find it.
And then you
Yeah.
might not be able to rip it because it's a Faraday cage. So like there's a whole layer
perfect.
of mesh.
Yeah,
We designed it to be anti-alien.
sure. But you can put your cell phone in it. That's awesome. Like it's not gonna get
Yeah,
fried.
and then no one can steal. It's like an RF. It's like a RFID.
RFID.
Yeah.
It's like those wallets you get to block the RFID shit. Only it's a whole jacket and it's a Faraday cage.
Damn. Wow.
It's too bad that your neighbor stole it.
Yeah.
So Mose has been on the show a bunch of times. We're not going to do the WoW scale because he was just here September a couple months ago. And he's like, a 2 or 3. You just described yourself the best. What did you say? A healthy dose of skepticism with a
Yeah.
dash of open-mindedness.
Yes. That's succinct and to the point.
So, I mean, fuck it. Let's get to the topic. Willie, you ready?
Tonight on Real Life Sci-Fi, did the world actually end in 2012 and we just weren't aware of it? Join us as we unravel the mystery of what really happened in 2012. We will journey into the unknown and challenge our perceptions of reality in this thought-provoking exploration of the world-ending event that you might have missed tonight on Real Life Sci-Fi.
So this is kind of like, remember when Bugmain was on the show during our first year and he said that 9/11 was the beginning of the simulation? Is that kind of like this?
Yeah. Well,
a little bit.
I mean, my first initial take on this is we'll go through all the different 2012 events that, people were afraid of, including myself a little bit. But let's say something happened and everybody on Earth died. When you picture people taking DMT and they're like, oh, it felt like I was in there for months. It was 5 minutes. Well, if we all died at the same time, everybody got a DMT kick. When does time stop happening, and how long do you get to realize that you are dead? What if it takes forever for your brain to acknowledge your death? Because a microsecond could last forever because that energy, there's no time within that energy, is my
Right.
thought. So
How did the world end?
Well, there's
there's
a
a bunch
lot
of different
theories.
ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite
Well-
one, Moles?
Well, there's the discovery of the Higgs boson, which is like the most basic. It's called the God particle. It's like the most basic form that allows matter to exist. Basically, I'm going to butcher the description. I'm not a scientist, but there's a theory that we peeked behind the curtain and we saw, like the Matrix, we saw the code, and ever since then, the simulation has been rewriting itself to be more and more absurd.
Wait, okay, so it's a simulation also?
I mean, it ties into simulation theory.
There's a
At
couple
least
versions where it is. Yeah.
that life went on beyond 2012 is the simulation. So it is kind of like what Bugman was talking about.
But is it
Or-
DMT or is it simulation or is it both or is it either?
Or it's
Which
like
it-
it's like Lost when they all found themselves in purgatory in the final season
Mhm.
after they all died. It could be that
Yeah,
too.
we all saw it coming from the very beginning, and then instead of changing it, because they had no idea what they were actually going to do. So they were just like, yeah, I guess we'll just go with what everyone thought it was.
Yeah.
But that was like a trippy place to be. They're on an island with a smoke monster and like computers underground. So how do you explain this life? It's worse. It's it's more boring than real life. Or maybe it's not. Trump's our president again. That's weird. There's
Yeah.
wars and stuff. Maybe that's fun.
I mean, we have world leaders openly talking about nuclear war now, which is not where we were 10 years ago.
If you guys are right, oh man, that sucks. I don't want this to be my afterlife. Like I already did this, you know. Sorry, I'm just fucking tired. I keep yawning. I
Yeah, I
already
took like
did this. I don't want to fucking. I don't want this to be my DMT dream escape.
Well, what would
Just more reality? Ugh.
how could we? I know, right? How only because your brain defined everything. It's like, okay, like let's just perpetuate this. How do you crack the code to prove to yourself that whether it's a simulation or a DMT thing, like how can you crack that code?
I don't know if you. I mean, I don't know. Like, well, for one, like if it's a simulation, you don't really crack that code, right? Like, there's really no reason to. Because what would you do with that information unless you could become Neo and like fly around and jump into other men?
Well, that's the hope,
Right.
right? You gotta
Right.
crack
Right.
the
Sort
code.
of
We're aware of it. We just need to learn how to use it.
Wait, this is I don't know if we've ever talked about this. Maybe we have. There's a documentary. Oh man. Maybe we've talked about this. I don't remember. There's a documentary and this guy is like, "Oh, I figured out something really weird. If you take DMT and you shine a laser onto the wall
Oh,
and you
yeah.
stare." Did we talk about this, Willie?
We mentioned it once for a second, but yeah. I haven't seen it, but I've seen ads for the thing. Have you heard of this, Moles?
No, what is this?
So he shines
So-
a laser into into like a crystal or something. It reflects it onto the wall, and everybody's doing DMT. As they look at the code on the wall, or the laser on the wall, it's code,
Okay.
like Matrix style code.
Like, is it
it's like it
alphanumeric?
no, it looks like a window. Like the laser on the wall looks like a window and you're seeing beyond the window. So it's like it's
Ooh.
kind of like a magic eye thing where like
Yeah.
there's code, but it looks like it's beyond there. And here's why I know that it's bullshit, because they describe it exactly like the Matrix code. So it's like, okay, yeah, you're just like hallucinating
You
that.
saw it in a movie in your brain.
Yeah.
Well, that
Categorize
plus the smallest reflected version of a laser, yeah, your brain might make it an alphabet if it's so small. Zoop, connect the dots.
Yeah.
There's no way there's actual code on a fucking laser that you have to do DMT. Like, fuck that guy. Like, I hate it. But the whole thing is set up like, oh, I didn't tell these guys what they were supposed to see. I just made them do DMT and then put a laser against the wall and then had them look. And they said that they saw the code. And it's like, well, I don't really trust you.
Well, your mental frequency is attuned to this world. And when you take DMT, it tunes to a different frequency, which allows you to see reality differently, man. And then when, you look at the code, you see it.
But it's also kind of like, okay, like this gives me no recourse. Like, what am I
Yeah.
supposed to do? Like, memorize this code and then like what? Figure it out?
Well, the
Like,
scientists at CERN are clearly wasting their time because this is what they need to do.
everyone should be doing DMT. I've never done it. I really want to.
I mean,
If anyone can
yeah,
mail
too.
me DMT, I would please reach out.
If we could all do it together, like at a hospital,
Why at a hospital?
if anything happens, I'm already plugged in.
Yeah.
You're just describing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest now. We're all gonna like think that we're in a mental institution if we do DMT in a hospital.
It's California. I mean, they have hospitals like that now where you take ketamine and
Yeah, I don't think they don't look like hospitals though.
No,
They look
they're
like nice
clinics of some
rooms.
kind. Yeah.
They look like
Tommy
nice
Lee's
chill
there.
rooms. Tommy Lee's always there. Remember James Vanderbeek? He's there.
Oh, nice. I always wondered what happened to him.
I really liked him, but then he got really into DMT.
There's this new age version of the next world, which is that if enough people are enlightened, they can enlighten everyone else. It's like if enough of society
Sure.
is
Yeah.
what some of them are saying is that once we do get to that point, our consciousness will actually shift into a higher dimension. And then it'll just be a whole nother realm, but like people may not notice the shift kind of thing.
Yep. No, that's kind of the part of the theory here. It's like no one noticed it. But we shifted downward. We went into a darker timeline, I believe. We need like a
Right.
Jesus to come here and like, rally us all to elevate our consciousness or something, or a Buddha.
I did always think that there would be somebody claiming to be Jesus and it would be on the news. Has he
Yeah.
returned? Like, what do you think? And
Yeah.
I'm glad
And
that hasn't happened, but
and it's really him, but it gets sensationalized to where he
yeah,
gets like ratioed on Twitter and stuff like that. No one wants to believe it, and it's the real
everyone
deal.
watching TV all of a sudden is drinking wine. Oh, and then he disappears. Oh
Mm.
shit. It was
Yeah.
him.
And we all realize collectively, yeah, that's the moment.
Jesus would be used to that, right? Isn't that how he's always been treated?
Yeah, no, we shit on every iteration of Jesus every time. So yeah.
So he'd just be like, he's like an Eeyore, like, well, I guess they don't like me, Dad.
I guess it's the third coming now.
Yeah, I guess they killed me again, but this time I was just in the middle of the night and someone kind of did it randomly and it wasn't even news.
They did it at WrestleMania, which is kind of weird. Like it was an AT&T Stadium. I don't get it.
So does that mean before 2012 it wasn't a simulation and we
Well,
were all alive and it was real? So
just-
9/11 was real?
Yes, 9/11 was real.
Okay.
That is weird. That is weird. Well, that was also the end of like what the world we knew growing up. But it's still kind of prattled along. But it does feel like everything's gotten progressively darker and worse since then. In a way
Yeah,
that
but
is like
you could say that
spiritual and
you could say that going back as far as the 70s, is that when everyone in America only, is that when everyone kind of got along for the first time, the 70s? But not really, but like it wasn't
Yeah.
that bad, it's kind of
Yeah,
Well, I
right.
remember 9/11 being a unifying event at first for like the first up until the Iraq War. I think is maybe 2002 before the Iraq War, but we were pretty unified. Like George W. Bush had a 90% approval rating. Like people
Oh my
were
gosh.
mostly on the same page just after
that was
9/11.
because America was still used to thinking that a wartime president was helping America or whatever.
Yeah, but that illusion was still there. It was still there
Yeah.
after 9/11.
Right.
And I mean, maybe it was Obama. Maybe it changed during Obama because there was a lot of optimism when Obama got elected. But by the end of his presidency, there was still it still got very contentious. And 2012 is actually a pretty good year for that divide starting to grow again into what we have today, which is even worse.
Well, but let's talk about 2012 a little bit because it seems like the only reason this is the topic is because of the Mayan calendar, right? But
That's what started the ball, yeah.
but whatever really happened in 2012, that was there any kind of thing that happened in 2012? No, right? Like,
Well, you mean
There's a
any
couple things.
documentable fact things? I mean, because they're
I'm not
definitely
saying no, I'm not saying like this is what killed us or anything. I'm just saying like, was there a major change in any way that we could look at and be like, oh, it makes sense because that's when we all died.
Well,
Like,
we were all living together. Us three were roommates in 2012. So
okay.
anything weird around the house? Did maybe we destroy the timeline? We're like you in the kitchen and you're making pizza and it burned.
No, I mean 2012. Like, what the fuck happened in 20? Who was even president? Because my math is failing
It was
me.
the
So,
Obama-Romney election, and Obama was president.
oh, okay. So he beat Romney in 2012.
Yeah,
So, okay. What about
that's
this?
just one thing that was going on.
Romney actually won, and
Oh yeah,
for some reason ended the world. I don't know how. I don't care about Romney. I don't think he would
Yeah, he's pretty
do
irrelevant.
the end of the world move, but he did apparently. And then our collective subconscious went Trump, right? It was
Within 4
Obama, then
years.
Trump.
Yeah,
Wow.
2012 to 2016. Were there any changes?
I mean, that kind of that makes sense that we all just hallucinated that Trump would be our president for some
It is,
reason.
yeah, it's still weird. Yeah.
I mean, I saw a thing that was like, and I don't know how accurate this was, but basically like 2012 was the shift for Americans, at least. They kept saying humanity to just go full on digital everything. I'm like, well,
Oh, yes. 2012 was the year when social media was considered ubiquitous, meaning like everywhere. Like Instagram really blew up that year. That was when everybody finally, between that 2008 2012 period, really got on Facebook. Everybody
The
had
young
Facebook.
people were getting on Instagram, the old people were getting on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's like
Twitter was,
one of those change counter machines where like the young ones went straight into the Instagram and then the old ones kind of went into
oh yeah,
Facebook.
yeah,
So it's kind of
maybe.
like the idea that I was picking up on was that if we were in a simulation and it ended, our simulation was just perpetuating, or they needed to keep us alive or whatever, of course we would all go digital because that was what was running the simulation, perpetuating the simulation was digital.
Yeah. We transcended our humanity in some ways to lean more on digital interaction than physical. I don't know if that's a 2012 specific thing though.
No, definitely not. And I mean, so yeah, everybody knows this, but I'll just say it again. Yeah, the Mayan calendar ended on December 21st, 2012. But the thing that was a 144,000 day cycle, Baktun, whatever, was the beginning of a new one. The Mayans always celebrated rebirth, not death. So we came up with that too. But I'm always weirded out by our calendars in general, how accurate they are, because when we shifted to the new calendar, the thing that I've always heard was that whoever was in charge back then and changed the calendar, it must have been the Romans back in
Yeah.
Julius and whatnot,
Yep.
that they actually said that they were in the next millennium, just to have the power of like, well, new year, new ties, new everything. We weren't on a 12-month calendar before that, and when you shift to a 12-month calendar, did they accurately connect the year from Jesus? I doubt it.
No, I mean a lot of that's we took from all sorts of things to create that calendar for sure.
I mean, come on. Like, I know you're using that as like the temp pole of when it was supposed to be, but like, it's not based. It can't be based on Jesus, right? That's so weird.
Anu Domini, I believe is what 80 stands for. I forget what that
Huh?
means. And then
I've just been totally into people that were still on a
Anno Domini, yeah, the year of our Lord. Okay, sorry, that's a Christian thing.
I just think it's made up. It's all made up. 2,000 years is completely made up. Well, now
yeah.
it's 2024 or whatever. It's so fucking made up. So the
I
whole
think so too.
calendar
I think
thing,
they missed hundreds of years. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, what are we even doing? I think 2,000 years is since we started keeping track. I don't think it's like since anything. It's just like 2,000 years ago is when the calendar was made that we know of. That's how
Yeah.
I think of it. And everything before that was like markings on trees, like in Survivor.
But they definitely were on a 10-month calendar. And there's definitely a lot of 13-month calendars that I've been following because I love the 13-month calendar.
Were those named after Roman emperors too? Like the months? Because July is Julius Caesar, August is Augustus.
Yeah, but October is
I've
8.
never heard that. That's
No,
crazy.
October,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
for
where it comes
reals.
from. Yeah.
Picture September is 7, even though it's a 9th month. October is 8, even though it's a 10th month.
Yeah, right.
November means 9.
October is really weird.
December 10 Deca. So they added the 2 months
Yeah.
before them and they never adjusted them. They still have the math names to them. So it's stupid.
I did
Well,
not notice
who's
that.
they though? Who's they? I mean, like
The Romans, the Christian Romans.
but wait, I got lost. So what are you saying? That the
Talking about
like
calendars.
obvious
When they changed
huh?
it to a 12-month calendar, it was the Romans, but I think they lied about what year it was to be ahead. And they didn't change the names of the months because the last 4 months of the year still correlate to it being a 10-month calendar.
Yeah, the end of the calendar, they're like numbers kind of.
They say they added the months of July and August were added 44 BCE.
Okay. And then they just kind of revised backwards and said, yeah, this is about when Jesus was here.
Whatever, fuck calendars. It's all boring and like it's made up, right?
Yeah,
I'd rather
yeah,
talk
exactly.
about this totally not made up thing where we all died in 2012.
Yep, totally. Yeah, that's where we are.
I mean,
I mean,
all this
that,
calendar
man,
stuff was just to laugh at going like, well, shoot, the Mayan calendar doesn't add up to ours. So
2012 is arbitrary anyway because
yeah,
we're misreading the Mayan calendar.
but
maybe.
also there was a huge solar storm that year,
Yep.
huge solar cycle. So in my mind, I was like, oh, were these Mayans? Because they were aware of like solar sunspots, and I was going like, oh, was this Baktun something like a solar cycle that we weren't aware of. It released so much
Right.
energy, and it basically was just shooting bullets and just missed us,
Yep.
But
It was a big
Well,
one too.
let's just talk about like the theory of everyone being dead. So then, like, there's been a lot of people who have died since 2012. Like, what is that?
They've reached the end point of their simulation, and they get to leave.
well, my take is either we are a collective consciousness or we are individuals, and like I don't exist actually. And so everything that I'm doing is just in your consciousness. So your brain has created this whole world. And so when people die, it's just because people used to die, but it's all made up in your simulation of your brain.
So this is all made up. Everything is happening in my brain right now.
No, what's happening in my brain?
Well, we're gonna have to
Uh,
fight about this.
That's
Yeah.
what an NPC would say.
You don't exist anymore, Wade. Boom. Oh wait.
Please, please. I would love for that to happen. If I poofed out of existence, that is my dream.
Yeah, you're all me, really. You're all just figments of my subconscious.
What am I? What do I represent in your subconscious?
Hmm. You're like an inverse me in some ways. We're all the same
Inverse,
age,
you think?
roughly. Yeah. You're my dark shadow.
You're Dexter?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the Dark Traveler. I'm sorry,
The
that's
Dark
the Dark
Traveler.
Traveler.
That's right.
But like, so, well, first of all, who came up with this? And like, can you give me any kind of like footholds to climb this wall of we're all dead or on DMT? Like, what are they saying?
Well, Mandela effect stuff too. I don't know how much you guys have talked about that.
We've talked about it a ton.
Yeah,
And
everybody talks about Mandela effect. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never
that's just
been
bad memory
convinced.
to me.
Yeah. One idea is that this solar storm did hit us. Earth is gone, but our consciousness existed, and our consciousness just built the world to continue in. So it turned into a simulation without anybody noticing the change.
Our collective consciousness couldn't agree that we were dead, so we're perpetuating
But in
our
that one,
existence.
are we autonomous, or is that the same as you all exist in my head?
I believe that autonomous is accurate, but all the same consciousness. So the collective consciousness perpetuated itself.
It's like
But we all
reality is
still think we have our own decision making or whatever.
yeah, reality is what we individually, as individuals, agree on what reality is. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
but we're sitting here talking about not agreeing on it, right?
Well, we in the aggregate, we can all agree that we're on Zoom. We can all agree that we're talking.
Yeah.
So and all that really exists is the present moment. So that verifiably exists is the present moment.
What if I just disappear? Like, what if I just had an awakening and you saw light and then I just disappear?
You know what would happen? Willie and I, our brains would rationalize, and I'd be a guest on just Willie's podcast, and we
I
would just remember
yeah,
it.
I would be rewritten. Like, I would not exist.
The simulation would tie up the seams, and it would just be like it was always Willie's podcast the entire time.
That'd be pretty cool, actually. Like, if you get to the afterlife and they're like, oh, we got to just wrap up these loose ends here. Like,
Yeah.
you disappeared during this podcast, and now we have to make it so that you were never on it. And I'm like, but I was kind of proud of that podcast. And they're like, shut up. You won't leave a legacy. It's a simulation. What do you even care?
The afterlife doesn't give a
I don't know.
fuck.
I felt like I did pretty good. What about Rick and Morty? And they'd be like, it's fake. It's all fake. Doesn't matter. And then they try to introduce me to some weird sport that I wouldn't be good at. Blubble ball. Because I don't have the chops yet to like float around with
But
my
maybe
brain
you
powers.
play it and it's like an instinctual thing and just everybody knows how to play it.
What if I'm the best blubble ball player?
Yeah. And it
God
doesn't
damn.
exist on Earth and you're just in the wrong place.
Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot
You're just
wait.
so used to gravity. That's all.
Yeah, once I get over this whole gravity thing, it's like when someone plays in Mile High City and they can't breathe.
Yeah.
But once you get
So you're from
acclimated
Colorado.
to
I've
it,
never been to Colorado. I've never been to Colorado, but you guys know that.
Well, you can go there all you want, but as soon as I start chasing you, that's when you can't hang.
Oh, all right.
I've honestly never really experienced the altitude thing because I'm old now. And so I feel like I get out of breath no matter what stairs I climb,
Right.
whether they be in the Mile High City or not, you know?
I recently went back to Estes Park and I went up some stairs. I was like, holy fuck, dude. I thought I was in shape.
Yeah.
I definitely like felt I was like, oh yeah, haven't been here in a long time.
It's too bad for people who grow up there because you never know that it's good. that it's an advantage. And then you don't go into sports, right? Because like nobody goes into sports.
Yeah.
It's like in The Expanse, so there's people that grew up without gravity in the belt.
And they're all weak and shit, right?
Yeah, the gravity just fucks them up when they step outside in high gravity.
I didn't
Or
get
any-
very far in The Expanse. I think I did
Yeah.
2 seasons.
It's pretty good.
Mm,
No, no. That is one of those shows that I know what you mean. It doesn't get really good until a real big tentpole event in season 2 with Thomas Jane, and then when that happens, it's like then the show clicks for me, and then it
I don't know.
really
I
good.
probably saw it. I still wasn't into it.
I've seen. I know. I like a lot of people say that, and I don't want to be the one of those guys like when you get to season 4, it's the best show ever. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we have enough of that shit.
I know. It's just, can't you make the show good from the start?
I know, dude.
Like The Wire didn't catch. I mean, that Wire's one of those shows where it wasn't until season 3 that I saw what they were doing. I was like, oh, this is brilliant. But
But the first season's good.
I love the dock workers season now. I didn't like it until I got to the end of the show. Now I think it's one of the best seasons of the show.
I've always liked the dock worker season.
I didn't like it at first.
Doesn't
Right.
this ruin every other thing though? I know, I'm sorry, I'm kind of switching my question, but like doesn't it ruin every other thing that you think, or does it help everything that you think?
It
Like
justifies the craziness. Everything's fucking crazy right now.
It makes
But-
me question it the perception of I'm always torn on how long the dying process takes, because they always say your body knows that it's dying, you know.
Mhm.
Your certain organs start to shut down, but like if it's something that's just instant and you don't know, and your brain's so smart that it doesn't know either, so it just carries on and creates the same things that you're used to.
Well, let me ask you this then. If we're all DMT psychosis, we're dead, and this is all a hallucination, why isn't it going better? Like for me, why am I making it so hard on myself?
I know,
Why did I
right?
create a strike that decimated the industry? And why did I create an internet that has taken away like most of
Because you moved to Hollywood to pursue a dream, and that dream has to die before you die.
oh my
We
god.
We have to reach the end of
Fucking
Hollywood
dark.
before
Jesus
we reach the end of
Christ.
Wade.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's the only reason I wouldn't be successful, is if the entire industry crumbled. Like in my brain, that's the only thing that could happen. Like
It's you.
there's no way I wouldn't make it, I guess, unless there's a strike, and then all of the conglomerates buy all of the media companies, and then they stop making shit.
And then
And even the
streaming
stuff that they
dies.
do make, they just throw in the garbage and never even air.
Yeah.
That's my brain. I'm sorry.
There was
Yeah.
a guy that I was watching talk about this, and he was like, since 2012, everything's been great. And I feel like that's because, and I was just laughing, going like, okay, you're just like some privileged dude. Like maybe got high too much.
He bought like one crypto. He bought like 20 crypto when it was like $300.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
was a
He either,
millionaire.
or he works in the military industrial complex of some sort. Like,
Yeah.
he was like,
Raytheon's
it's
doing
been
great
pretty,
right now.
it's been pretty easy for everyone since 2012. I was like, I don't
What?
think the world agrees with you.
Literally everybody else.
yeah, what is he talking? Like, how would you even make that blanket statement? Like, when did he say this? Was it recently?
I felt like it was within the last 5 years.
Oh my god, what a dick.
I know, dude. I
Was it
like,
pre-COVID? So wait, I created COVID too.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
created COVID.
Fuck. God damn.
Yeah.
And I created the ban on the only thing that makes me happy is these little nicotine pouches. I can't get them anymore.
Those are banned?
They're banned online. It's a whole
Oh.
fucking thing.
Oh, for online sale, yeah. But you did get weed legalized. So
Yeah. I mean, I guess it would prove it's like the whole Matrix thing that guy says, right?
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Smith? Is that his name?
Uh-huh. Yes.
He's like, we kept making it too good, and then the humans would reject it. Wasn't that Mr. Smith?
yes,
Humans.
that was Mr. Smith in the first movie. Yep.
Humans
You're right.
could never be happy.
I can smell your stink.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
whole
scene.
thing. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just like creating COVID and shit, just because it's like I'm too happy being miserable.
The world can't be good ever.
I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around this. So everyone's dead, and we're all doing this, and we're all living in different versions of this.
We don't want to let go of the world, so we've created this hallucination to hold
What's
on to the world.
the other version, simulation version? Is it much different? I mean, I already asked, like, are we all in this together? I don't remember the answer. But is that the
Oh,
difference? That like
yeah. So this is like there's God or there's some other higher intelligence
yeah.
that we found the Higgs boson in 2012, and we've seen the wizard behind the curtain. Now the wizard's trying to like patch everything up, and it just gets worse because every time you tug on this wire, another thing comes apart, and that's the life that we've been experiencing since 2012, where everything's just gotten progressively worse.
But we're alive still? Or as alive as we were previously? Was it always a simulation? No, I mean no,
In the
right? So it just
simulation
became
theory, it is.
I feel like more versions of this are simulation theory, and
but
that
it
somehow
started in 2012. Is that what they're saying?
so many people were aware of all these different apocalyptic versions of 2012 because we subconsciously knew that something was going to happen. And so we all created different stories as to what was going to happen. Because there's also a lot of people thought a big pole shift was going to happen in 2012. And people thought Nibiru was going to happen in
Oh, right.
2012. There was this whistleblower from Montauk, the Montauk Project, saying that they had these energy walls that they could walk through and go into different dimensions and whatnot, and that they could time travel. He was saying that whenever they tried to time travel, they could never go past 2012. So,
I heard that
and
one
I
too.
I
Yeah.
remember hearing this long before 2012, going like, and so that kind of helped perpetuate that too. That like, something's coming. The end of the world. We don't know what it is. We can time travel forward and backwards, but we can't get past 2012.
They couldn't see
And then
Moonlight winning Best Picture.
I'm
Or there's a different timeline. There's one where La La Land wins Best Picture, and there's one where Moonlight wins Best Picture.
more curious about Crash. When was Crash?
Oh, that was like 2006, 2005.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, we might have found it. Argo.
Hmm.
Argo won Best Picture in 2012, and Argo is
Oh
about a
my gosh.
fake movie.
Yeah.
So isn't that a hint? Hey, this movie about a fake movie won Best Picture in the same way that your world is about a fake world.
It tracks. I mean,
I mean, it never should
Yeah.
have been Django Unchained. It never should have been Silver Linings Playbook. It never should have been Les Mis.
Django Unchained didn't win. I guess Quentin Tarantino's never won for Best Picture, has he?
I'm gonna
No,
say
because we would
no.
know that speech, right?
I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
before I get started,
motherfuckers.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot has been said about me working in a video store, but I just like feet.
Yeah.
Fingers up the whole time. Yes, yes. And I want you to know that.
Saying the N word too much.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say, but I wasn't gonna stop.
Oh, Grand Budapest Hotel. I'm sorry. I'm just looking through all the Academy Award nominees, and I watched Grand Budapest Hotel last night because ChatGPT was like, if you're looking for like relaxing wind down, check out Grand Budapest Hotel. And I was like,
Hmm.
okay. And it was like just as boring and shitty as I
Oh
remember it.
God,
Yeah.
yeah, I know,
It is
dude.
boring.
I
I
was like,
don't know what
what
it's
when I was
about at
watching it, I
all.
was like, am I holding animosity towards this director? Because like I can't like this.
It sucks because I love a lot of his other
Probably.
stuff.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like when someone who you really like kind of starts disappointing you, then it's just kind of like, well, fuck you,
Yeah.
right? Life Aquatic was when I got off of the Wes
Me too.
Anderson.
I like that
Me
one, but
too.
it is weird. It is where it starts to feel like this is just, this is just weird. I liked it because it still had that charm to it, and I liked the actors in it and everything. But yeah, then he stops working with Bill Murray as much, maybe altogether, and that's when it falls off.
Oh, it's a small part.
Yeah, okay. I meant just starring. Like he didn't anchor his projects anymore.
When is he ever?
Life Aquatic, Rushmore. What? Rushmore was all about Bill Murray.
No, it wasn't. It was about the kid. It was about
I
Jason
mean,
Schwartzman.
it's about both.
So we're just in a purgatory forever. And then what happens when we die if we're already dead?
Well, there'll be like a grand finale at some point, but it might be like a nuclear exchange or
So
mutual
we're all gonna
attraction.
die at the same time again?
Yeah, yeah. That's when we collectively all accept our deaths.
So maybe it's coming then, because we've got
Yeah.
all this strife and nuclear
Yes.
threats.
Yeah. No, we're in the quickening. We're getting there.
um,
It just has to be an event that we're aware of.
Yeah, and we accept.
is
We accept it
is
this time.
aliens going to be a part of it? Because I would
Maybe.
vote for that.
I'd love that. Yeah.
What if aliens come and kill us all? But then, like, so here's my whole thing with it. If we're already dead, why wouldn't we just continue doing this? Is this what being dead is? Just doing this over and over again? That sucks.
I mean, this is okay. I mean, I
Well,
don't mind this.
Oh,
one
this is
one idea
awful, dude.
one
Having to
idea
pay
is that
rent
We're
every month.
we're
Ugh.
self-conscious. We're aware of it.
right. It's supposed to keep going until you're okay with dying.
Yes, right.
I've been okay. I've been waiting. What's going on?
We're trying. We have to catch up with you.
Oh, what?
Sorry, it's me and Willie are holding you back. Is what's happening.
Oh my god, I don't
I'm
like
too-
the
I'm-
collaboration part of this. It's
I'm
not.
too interested in the show. I want to see what happens. I'm like, what happened this week? Ooh, oh, there's an assassination attempt. Oh wow, what's this? Now reality is so much more entertaining than the fake stuff.
Yeah, but I said the 70s was like a nice time, but all those guys were getting killed, right?
the 70s
Yeah.
was crazy. There was a revolution in
Malcolm X.
Iran, and yeah,
The other guy, the less important Malcolm X. Like, I don't know why I can't think of his name. Who's the fucking guy, the main guy? Martin
What?
Luther King.
Martin Luther King.
that was
Yeah.
68 though. That was when RFK and Martin Luther King died the same year, I think.
Oh, so who was 70s?
I wasn't Malcolm X in the 70s. I'm not
Well,
sure.
probably if it's only 2 years later.
Oh, he was the
I'm sure
Malcolm X
there
was
were so
assassinated
many
65
world
for Malcolm
leaders
X.
assassinated. Yeah.
Oh, so 70s were the best time.
He died before Martin Luther King. Yeah.
There was a lot of black television in the 70s. Like, I feel like the 70s was the best.
What's Happening was definitely a great show.
They had a bunch. There was so many more
Yeah.
black people on television.
Good Times, literally Good Times. What else of the show?
227,
227 was the 80s.
Sanford and Son,
That was 70s. Yep.
Cosby.
Cosby was like he had like 3 or 4 different giant
Yeah,
shows.
he's
I
generational.
Spy
He's-
was 70s.
Anyways, 70s were the
But-
best.
One
I
thing I
think
want
when they say make America great again, they're talking about 70s.
Yeah, let's go back to the 70s for sure. One other thing I think that is a bellwether for the end of the world in 2012. It happened late in the year. Do you know any guesses?
Wait, what's a bellwether? Define
like-
that.
Like a canary in the coal mine, maybe like bellwether. I mean, God.
Was
I
that what
say
you
it-
mean, canary in the coal mine? You
No.
could be right about bellwether. I'm not going to look it up. What's your question? Can we
Okay,
predict?
the theory is that because the world ended, we haven't really
Yeah.
created anything new culturally since then. And what happened in 2012? I have the answer. I'm just asking rhetorically.
NSYNC broke up.
George Lucas sells Star Wars to Disney.
And
And ever since then, we've just been making more and more Star Wars. We haven't made
Yeah.
the new Star Wars.
right.
And it's just
Well,
been unoriginal shit.
wait, when did the
IP
new Star Wars come out?
2015, but the sale happened in 2012.
Oh, okay. So you're
So-
kind of wrong. We made
Wait,
new
no,
Star Wars.
We've had cultural
We
stagnation.
made 3 new Star Wars.
Yeah, and they all were just derivative bullshit. Andor was good though. I will say Andor was a really good
I liked
show.
Andor.
Yeah, I did too.
Season 2 is coming out.
What was it going to be? Just building a Death Star?
I'm not sure. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to top season 1, honestly. I have no idea what they're gonna do.
Well, isn't he just like kind of a mercenary?
Yeah.
Not even. He's just
But-
running from the law, kind of.
But we
He's
know
going
he
to
dies at
start
Rogue
the
One,
rebellion? Yeah.
so there's only so many beats.
Oh,
that
is
they
it?
can
Was he
cover.
the same guy from Rogue One?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I need to remember what happened in Rogue One. They all died, right?
yeah. Everybody dies in that movie.
And then Darth Vader comes through the hallway and does that cool shit, and then he
Yeah.
just like talks to Princess Leia for a second.
I
No,
know.
he doesn't talk to Princess Leia, but we see Princess Leia. Yeah.
No, but that's the chronology of it. He's like
Yeah.
doing cool shit, and then he sees Princess Leia, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, tell me where the fucking
I
plans
know
are."
you were.
Yeah, it
I know
happens
you
momentarily
just
after.
left me because I was just there.
Yeah. That like the Brit, like there's like 5 minutes between the two movies.
But that Darth Vader hallway thing is pretty great.
Yeah.
That's one of the best Darth Vader moments, right?
I
You
like-
see
I
him,
like Rogue One,
tearing
too.
shit
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Rogue One's fine, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
even call it a Star Wars movie. I don't think there's even one lightsaber in it.
I mean, aside from Darth Vader's, but yeah.
No one gives a fuck about the world. We care about lightsabers.
Yeah.
How do they work?
Right.
Why
I mean,
are they
that's the-
different colors?
Star Wars at its core formula is a perfect storm of cool lightsabers and life lessons or whatever Yoda was doing. But
It couldn't be an easier movie to make.
Arthurian legend. Yeah. It's very simple and to the point.
I don't know
And
how they fucked it up so bad, honestly.
they just kept adding shit that nobody wanted to it that wasn't anything. It had nothing to do with the serials from the Flash Gordon stuff and the samurai movies.
Was there a like the Phantom Menace? Is there a version where George Lucas went back and added stuff to that?
Kind of. When it came out on DVD, he did add some scenes that were deleted, but it wasn't like those special editions or anything like that. Yeah. Attack of the Clones is mostly unchanged, and so is Revenge of the Sith. There's some slight differences in the DVD there.
Don't you think that the prequels could have been the end of the world?
Hmm.
I don't want to get too bug main, but like those sucked, dude. And if you say they're good, like you're just wrong. They're so
if you
boring.
were a kid during those things and you're defending these movies, I can understand that. But for everyone else, because everything I liked when I was a kid was shit.
Really? Everything I liked when I was a kid was awesome.
Yeah, I feel like I romanticized a lot of stuff.
Like, go watch something. Like, listen, I can laugh at Skeletor every fucking day for the rest of my life.
Sure.
But it's not good.
Oh, yeah.
He-Man's
No, we
not a good
agree.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, it's all bad if you go back and watch it.
It's all
But-
toy commercials, yeah.
But
Which
do
is
you
what
think
our
a kid really
parents
wants
saw.
to hear about like the trade embargo and Star Wars?
I know, dude.
Uh,
We get the must get approval from the Senate. I'm like,
I had
you
this
Asian,
idea-
the vampire.
I had this idea for a Channel 101 show, and it was animated, so I didn't do it. But it was called Trans Megabots, and it was about alien, like Transformers that came to Earth to sell toys of themselves. And you had it was the Importicons versus the Domestibots, and every episode was just like a trade war.
Why don't you
Dude,
make
you can
that?
make that. We can
I
make it
could
with
probably
AI
make it with,
now.
yeah, I could probably make it with AI now. Maybe I have a theme song for it too and everything.
Nice, dude.
I'd have
That
to
sounds
find it.
awesome. I'd buy you the toys.
I'd have to look into it. Let's see if I still have the script. It ends with them passing a law in Congress though to increase domestic trade or impose tariffs on the Importicons.
Oh, that's funny. Well, let me ask you this. Out of
Yeah.
all the things that you were looking into, because I know we didn't listen, we briefly touched on this before the show, that if you're a fan of Terrence McKenna out there, I was depressed when he started talking about Time Wave Zero, which was like picture if you know what Bible code is. I know I'm going off on a weird tangent, but basically he had created this chart of just when important things happen in human history. And he came up with this pattern that, like, look, in 2012, we hit zero. Something big is gonna happen. He was one of my favorite people to ever listen to until he started talking about this stuff. And I was like, oh, dude, like you drank your own Kool-Aid. And
Yeah,
like you've talked to the mushroom people way too much.
right.
And you created your own religion that isn't real.
Time Wave Zero did end in 2012 too, which is kind of eerie. But it obviously, yeah.
Wait, what did?
Terrence McKenna had this theory called Time Wave Zero. Time Wave Zero is this wave of, there's a novelty, there's a new technological level, like we're seeing with AI right now. And there's a peak, and society adjusts and has a collective awakening to it, and then it goes down. There's another technological advancement.
And it's
I don't know.
easy to write all this stuff when you go back in history and then make the wave fit to it, you know?
Yes,
So trying to predict from that was the problem. He was predicting
right.
2012 to be something.
Yeah, he said
And
roughly.
he
at the
died
beginning
and nothing
of it.
happened. Yeah.
Well, maybe something did happen, which is what we're discussing.
He died before 2012.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
died in like 2000, I want to say.
So he was talking about this way early. But
Yeah.
he
And he
was
actually
also talking about the Mayan calendar, though.
He predicted a lot though. When you think about social media and like everything that crazy that happened, I mean, he was kind of on point about like how crazy our reality would get. Which
Yeah.
it is crazy right now in a lot of ways.
Is it? I mean, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. When you're living in it, it seems pretty crazy. But then if you think about like the history of humans, it's been much crazier.
Well, we
But
always weathered the storm. For
I mean,
sure.
here's my thing is like, as a human, when you
Are you?
have these moments when you connect to other humans, like having a death experience, having a life experience, you know, just like having to kill things that you eat, having to be hungry. I don't know, whatever. It's very easy for kids of today to just have this digital experience and have no connection to other humans.
And that's normal for them. Yeah.
Like I picture our
But,
grandparents being in a circle and trying to talk about the things that they have all experienced. And I only bring this up because I feel like being connected to humans is probably more important than, because in order for the species to evolve, we have to evolve together. Like we can't evolve separately.
not according to my theory.
What's that?
Do you not?
Yeah.
Do you
What
guys
is the
not
Wade
know my?
Randolph theory?
You guys don't know my theory?
Well, American philosopher
if
Wade
I've heard it
Randolph.
before, I've forgotten.
What
Yeah.
is your theory?
Okay, first of all, don't patronize me.
Sorry.
And secondly, this is based in stuff, okay? This isn't just my theory. And I'm going to write a movie, okay? And so this is all copywritten.
Okay.
This is on the record as being copywritten and trademarked.
I'm gonna.
Although I don't really have a name
this
for it.
podcast to myself. Does that
Yeah.
work for copyright?
Yeah, and then don't open it. Don't open it until you get sued, and then you'll have proof. No, here's what I think. I feel like I've said all this before, so I don't know how much of it's going to be redundant for the listener. But you know how there's kids, we talk about this a lot during ghost stories or whatever. There's kids who like have past lives and they like really know their past lives and they can see ghosts and stuff.
The
So
indigo children or whatever. Yeah, just that they can connect to real facts of a past life.
I think it's just a matter of unlocking that and continuing where you left off. I think like I don't think that the afterlife is perpetually reincarnation. I think you get out of it at some point, but I think there's a reincarnation angle. If I'm a human again, I'm hoping, well, I don't have any skills. It would be great if like Einstein came back and remembered some of his Einstein shit.
But there definitely are people that remember musical skills, but go on. Yes, for sure.
Well, that's all I'm saying. So like there will be a time where humanity gets to a point where we understand that we've all lived lives before and we can unlock previous life experience organically if you're talented, and then I assume that we'll create some kind of device that parents can be like, okay, do you want, like how like gene manufacturing is right now, where you can like sort of like, so like in the future it's going to be like, okay, do you want your kid to like remember the past life and like he'll test out of like most of school and he can just start working by the time he's like 10, he can just start working. He can just go into whatever field that he was good at. And the parents are going to have to make a choice. And they're going to be like, well, do we want him to be behind or not? And also like, does personality come with that? Because like, I don't want some asshole as a kid.
Yeah, right.
So that's what's going to happen.
Genghis Khan is your kid.
I guarantee.
And
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
weird to like that would like drop family tree lines basically, because it's like, well, I'm just worried about me, who I was before. It doesn't matter if you're my family before, because we're not actually family.
You have two trees.
It would be insane. I think you would have one tree, but it would be like the alpha and the beta or something like that, right?
It'd be like a two-layered thing.
So you'd have to track your own life. So like companies would be out there to document our lives to sell them to the future versions of us, to unlock them. Like, hey, I know you.
That's
were really,
interesting.
You want
yeah,
this?
That's really interesting. Yeah. Like because when you unlock it, you don't remember everything, right? Because that would fuck your brain up. You're like a 5-year-old and you remember your wife dying.
Yeah, I know, dude. I know.
Where'd my wife go? What body is she in now?
There's a kid.
Well, true. Oh, wait, but then that's good too. Where then you can go find her or whatever. I mean, that's a pretty good movie.
Yeah. Yeah. The soulmates.
Cloud Atlas.
There's this.
Well, you got wait, Willie. I want to get to that, but this is so fucking weird that Moles said Cloud Atlas, because is that what that is?
Roughly, yeah.
Fuck.
No.
I just came up with a whole thing that Cloud Atlas already fucking did.
No, there's what you were describing did sound different. Like, it's in contemporary times we find our past. It's different. Cloud Atlas is like slices of life from different timelines.
But they don't have any memories of their previous lives.
They don't. No.
Okay, thank God, because I thought of Cloud Atlas and I was like, "Fuck, am I just doing Cloud Atlas? Is this just the true?"
It's in the same like creative sphere, but
sure.
It's different.
Yeah. Okay.
You should watch
It's
it though.
copywritten. It's copywritten.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did watch it. I don't remember a
awesome.
fucking second
Might
of
be
it.
if you're
I
writing,
mean,
it
not
might be a
Cloud Atlas. I'm
rewatch.
saying your idea is awesome.
Oh, thanks. So, Willie, what are you gonna say?
Oh, I was going to say one of the saddest things I've ever seen was this kid who remembered being a World War II pilot, and his family was trying to get him to move past his past life, right? Because he knew all the bombers, he knew all the people that he was with, and he knew where his plane went down, and so he had a funeral for himself so he could move on. So he went to where
Oh
his plane
wow.
crashed, and he was on a boat, just like a little kid crying to say goodbye to his old life. I was like, dude, what the fuck is this? It's so sad. Because when I picture holding on to everything I love about my life and not wanting to let go and never wanting to die,
Yeah.
if you could remember it again, like, oh man.
It's easier as a kid, though, right? I mean, like I remember, kind of maybe it's just me, but I remember moving on pretty quickly from tragedies or traumas, right? Like I don't
Mhm.
know. It just didn't seem like it. I'm sure it like affected me psychologically, and I'm still dealing with it, but at the time it was just kind of like, oh, whatever. It would be like having a cat die or something where you're like, oh, this is sad, but I'm
Yeah.
saying goodbye to my past life that I don't even really understand what that is. You know what I mean? Like it's sad. But then also why would you want him to move past it rather than look into it? Because even if it's all bullshit, couldn't he have like a career
I mean,
in aeronautics?
Well,
you're
depending on how
so
you
you're so
die.
right. Because I will say, I'm sorry to cut you off, Moles. The
That's right.
parents just really wanted to have a kid, so
Yeah,
they
they just
really
want their
pushed
own
for him.
they
It
want
was
their own
so
selfish
selfish.
bullshit. Like why can't you have rosy cheeks? And why can't
Mm.
you be licking a lollipop? And he's
We
like, but
want you.
fucking World War II, dude.
I know, dude. I want to yell at you for being a kid. Like you killed people.
So anyway, that's what's going to happen, and I don't think it has anything to do with all of us. And maybe it does have everything to do with all of us. Like maybe your version of this whole us getting together thing necessitates multiple lives to understand to do that because no one's going to do it in one life. No one's going to
Oh,
be like, we
word.
got all
Yeah.
fucking kumbaya and shit.
Like we have to go through generations of individuals remembering their past lives and being just their true individual selves.
Well, my whole thing is this. Okay, like think of like what's the biggest predator on earth that's not a human? A
Jaguar.
lion?
Lion.
A jaguar? Like we beat the fuck out of them. They're like not even a challenge. Like if us three came up against a lion, we would take it down.
Yeah, yeah.
It wouldn't be fun, but we could do it. We would
Yeah.
pull
Without
together.
weapons, the
bloody.
three of us, I feel like we could take down a lion.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
We have
If the three of
tools.
us got on
Yeah.
top of a lion, that's 300 pounds at least. So it's probably like 500.
I'd poke
A
out his
lion
eyes.
weighs
Somebody
like
would
what,
poke out
120?
his butthole, so he's like looking back.
Fucking, we'll fuck that guy up and we'll do all the fucking dirty tricks. I'll twist his thumb. I don't care.
I'll like take his tail and like choke him to death with his own tail.
I'm gonna tie him down and pull his teeth out with pliers, and then I'm gonna let him go. And when he comes at me again, I'm just gonna laugh.
He's just gonna starve to death because he took his teeth away.
Yeah, I don't care.
It's low. Yeah.
I'm a human. I won. We won. We're the best. And so the only reason, so here's this is all part of it. We're going out into space, and like these aliens, they're fucking much better than we are. They've already figured out all this stuff, but they're all like shy and afraid to like come and actually do shit, right? They could take us out if they wanted to, but they're like pussies. Or whatever. I don't know what they are, but like we're gonna fuck them up. It's just gonna take like 3 generations for us to be like, oh, fucking aliens, let's get them. They're cowards. We can get them. I remember the big alien thing, in 2030. I remember that.
Like the weakest
I know
human
how to
could
get
just
them.
punch through an alien skull. This space, less dense bones.
Well, if it was that easy, we wouldn't. I mean, yes, probably, but we gotta get to them, and that means generations upon generations of like figuring out where they are and how to get to them. I think we're the ultimate predator, and I think the universe has bit off more than it can chew, and maybe we'll be the end of the world. And I don't care. That's fine. if we're the end of the entire world, like if we blow up the universe, that's pretty cool. No one's done that before.
Very impressive. Yeah.
So that's where I think we're headed. I think it's going to be evolutionary, and I need a term for it, like evolutionarily.
Suicidal.
It's like
Evolutionary.
transcendental evolution because
No, but
it's the soul evolving.
it is
not-
okay. That's not bad, but then I also wanted to have something to do with like generations or
Oh,
something.
God.
Like,
Okay. All right. That is
like
too fixated on the end of the world.
no. Like that's just what happens because we're fuck ups deep down. But
Yeah.
like, that's not what we're supposed to do. I want it to be like generational. What did you say? What you didn't say?
transcendental evolution.
Transcendental
Yeah.
generational evolution or something like that. And then once you know who you actually used to be, like think of how much that would fuck up the economy and shit. Because like if you used to be a Rockefeller and then you can have some sort of like rightful claim to like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But then also
rule-
you remember all the conversations you had where you like destroyed people below you. It's like,
yeah, but that's why you're the best, right?
And you know how to do
Yeah.
it. You retain that knowledge of people and how
Because
to
like
win.
really like fuck everyone. Like who cares? They're just like they might as well be like little lions. But I'm a generational transcendental evolutionist, and I'll kill everyone because I know I'm coming back. So there's like, yeah, this you know that whole thing, like the thing that they say to the AIs, like, okay, there's a train and it's either going to go down the one track with the one person or the one track with the five people. You know
Yeah,
that whole thing
the
that
trolley paradox or I know what you mean. Yeah.
yeah, that
Trolley
thing.
problem.
Does it have a name?
Yes. Is it the
The
trolley
trolley
problem?
dilemma.
The
Yeah, it's
trolley
called
dilemma.
it's literally called the trolley problem. Yep.
The trolley problem. It sounds like
It's a British thing, I'm sure.
yeah, well, we don't call them trolleys, so sure. It's
We
so
don't call
whimsical.
problems.
It sounds like who's the engine that could? What's his name? Thomas. Sounds like a Thomas the Tank Engine
Yeah.
episode. The trolley problem. Lisa, I've got too many trolleys. What am I going to do with all of these trolleys?
One of them's going to bleed. Is it going to be 1 or 5?
So, but I think that once you're generational, once you're a transcendental generational evolutioner, you're like, yeah, kill them. They might be more useful when they come back. Just kill everyone. It's fine.
They've got to
Just
experience their punishment for being stupid.
They got a couple life cycles to learn.
You can get into like some weird psycho shit where you're just finding smart people to kill so that hoping that they'll come back. And that's like the next evolution of like a serial killer, right? This is there's so much shit here. I mean, this is my Star
It's like
Wars.
Time Cop and Sherlock Holmes.
It's got some Highlander too. Yeah.
And some Highlander and some fucking just like good vibes.
Yeah. I like it.
So that's going to be my opus. That's what I'm going to be working on this month. I actually did write that down that I should work on this and forgot about it until now. And I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But really what I want to do is, and I'm sorry. Oh, should we go? Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, we should go.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. I don't want to give all my secrets. You got to pay to hear the rest of this.
Yeah.
This is a great movie.
Sounds
if you want to
good.
hear about it, you go to patreon.com/RealLifeSciFi. You hear the rest of it because we're going to continue this conversation on our bonus episode, and it's called Real Life More Sci-Fi, and you can only get it on Patreon. And Aaron Moles, do you have anything to plug or say?
No, I'm just going into my hole and we're working on stuff too. So I don't have anything to plug. Maybe someday I will, and it'll be amazing. So I don't know. We're still alive. I think we largely agree on that. Regardless,
I think
of
we're
anything.
alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love for us to be dead, but not if it's like this. Not if it's like this.
This is purgatory. We're going to reach the end point at some point, but not today.
I hope when I die that I don't have the feeling that I'm dying.
What do you mean? Like what? How do you mean that?
I don't
I
want
want
to
to know I'm
Mentally?
know.
dying.
Like I was choking on some cauliflower today, and I had to stand up and yell to like push it out of my throat.
Oh wow.
Ah!
God, you're weird.
And it sucked, man. And I'm like, yeah, dude. I picture myself getting older and like, am I going to be able to push that
So
out of
you,
my
yeah.
throat?
So you don't want to, yeah. You don't want to die by asphyxiation, basically.
I don't want to die going like, oh fuck, because I've had that feeling a couple times where I'm like, okay, like I'll just go out into the hallway so someone can find me and I won't have that much brain damage.
I feel like I would get over it. I remember when I was under all those people in the pool and I couldn't get any air because they kept pushing me down. They didn't know they were doing this.
I had a similar experience once too.
I was thinking like this could be the end, and maybe it's like 30 years of hindsight or whatever, but I swear I was okay with it. I swear I was like, well, this is the end. And yeah, it's like panic and shit. I'm not saying I was like super cool, but like I don't think dying is the bad part. I think like the worrying is, right? It's like the
Yeah, yeah.
stress of worry. And that's why asphyxiation would be one of the worst ones because you're immediately going like, "Oh fuck." Whereas like a gunshot to the head, you're just
You don't
kind
even
of,
know you die. That's why I can kind of see the idea of ghosts being like, oh, they don't know they're dead. Like they just died.
well, we haven't even talked about this and we got to wrap this up, but we could all be ghosts.
True.
Have you seen the Nicole Kidman response to Sixth Sense?
The others?
No.
The others, yeah.
Yeah. Long
Where
time
they're
ago. Yeah.
where they're dead but they don't know it. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. It's a
Yeah.
fun way to kind of flip the Sixth Sense thing on its head where it's like, oh, what if Sixth Sense took place from, well, I guess Sixth Sense is kind of from whatever. We should end the episode.
Hmm.
Thanks for listening. Go to patreon.com/real-life-sci-fi. We're going to continue talking about this stuff, and it's very fun, and we're good at it. And thanks, Smalls.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
I wish you had some like whistle that you always did.
I
And the listeners were waiting to hear your whistle.
That would be great.
oh my god, I can't whistle now. What the fuck? I used to be able to really
Yeah, when's the last time you tried? Because it goes away. It goes away. You got to
what?
blow much harder. Blow much harder. There's
Wow.
nothing-
I've
there's
never
nothing.
not been able to whistle as far as I know. I'm sorry, audience.
I forgot how to lip whistle. I have to tongue whistle now.
Oh, I kind of did it. It's coming back.
What's the theme song? Let's all whistle the theme song. How does it go?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm not getting it. Oh,
Oh, got it. Okay. But I'm doing the tongue whistle. I can't do the lip whistle anymore.
I just did the lip whistle. Just figured it out.
All right. See you guys next time. Oh, and I didn't say the thing. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you.
Real life sci-fi.